NBA ファンの皆さん、こんばんは。スーパースターマイケル・ジョーダンの復帰によりまして、がぜんまた活気づいてきました NBA の終盤。今日はそのマイケル・ジョーダンの復帰4戦目の試合の模様をお伝えしてまいります。解説はおなじみの島本和彦さんです。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
島本さんはこのジョーダンが復帰した時にはアメリカにいらしたんですね。
そうなんです。たまたまそうなっちゃったんですけど、行く前にですね、復帰がどうもありそうだということであるぞというのが決まってから行ったんですね。そうすると現場には行けないだろうけど、テレビでは逐一見れるなと、その即時にですね、これはいい時に来たなということで、時々日本へ電話かけるとどうだったってすごかったですね。
やっぱ歓迎一色って感じですか、アメリカは。
そうですね、もう何しろこう両手もろ手を挙げて大賛成ありがとうありがとうというような感じで、普通日本だったらちょっと違うかなというような感じがしましたけど、本当にすごい歓迎ぶりだったですね。
でもこれによってあと終盤のですね、順位の変動がまた起こりうるかなって感じがしますよね。
いやもうプレーオフのねスポットのところが大変ですね。どこの位置に行くかによって相手は本当にやりにくいでしょうからね。
なるほど。唯一歓迎しないとしたらプレーオフで当たることになるチームということになりますかね。
そうでしょうね。
プレーオフでもそうするとこれまで予想されていたものとはまた違った形で進んでいく、そういう面白さもまた出てきますよね。
そうですね、一気にみんなの興味がですね、イースタンカンファレンスの方行っちゃった今まではウエスタンカンファレンスの方がね、結構レベルが高くいってるなというのがあったんですけど、本当一気にイースタンの方に注目がいっちゃいますね。
でもわずか復帰してですね、数試合でも、トップレベルのところまで自分を持ってくるっていうのはこれは大したもんですね。
そうですね。やっぱり彼普通のリタイアと違って、ベースボールにチャレンジしてましたよね。トライというよりチャレンジですよね。
チャレンジですね。
ですから本当に自分がいつもトップコンディションに、アスリートとしてトップコンディションにいるという条件があったから、こういうふうにすぐパンと戻れるんじゃないかなと思いますね。ですからそういう時に一番やっぱり聞いてみるとシューティングアベレージですね、フィールドゴールパーセンテージがやっぱりちょっと悪いっていうのは、そこら辺のゲームの中での勘が戻ってないと本人も言ってますけども、そこがちょっと低いだけであって、やっぱ取るべき時はね、19、27、21、32、55とこう来てるわけですから、
これはすごいですよね。
やってない人がなんで55点取っちゃうんですかと困った人ですね。
やっぱり勘を戻すきっかけとなったのがこの第4戦ということですので、その第4戦の試合を早速ご覧いただきましょう。
Y'all ready for me yet? Boom! Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. Tick, 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 boom! Yeah! Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. Boom! Shake, shake, shake the room. I came here tonight to hear the crowd go tick, 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 tick.
It's a special night here in Atlanta. Oh yeah, there are going to be a number of seats that are suddenly filled for the first time. But in the aftermath of it all, it's just a regular season game during the dog days of March when teams are trying to make a playoff push. But there's one special thing, and it's Michael. When the Chicago Bulls were set to take on the Atlanta Hawks tonight, we didn't know Michael would be here, but he is, and we're live from the Omni in Atlanta. Hello, everyone. I am Tim Brando. Why is it such a big deal? Starting lineups for the Bulls. Pippen and Kukoc with Purdue in the middle, who gets more rebounds per minute played than anyone in the NBA. Jordan in the backcourt with B.J. Armstrong. For Atlanta, they look this way. Augmon, Long, Lang, Smith, and Blaylock. And as Stinger mentioned, a big night perhaps for Grant Long up against Kukoc before they make that decision to get him out of the game and perhaps go with Pete Myers. And Andrew Lang needs to have another quality performance against Phil Jackson's team. That's the author of the triple post offense next to him, Tex Winter, the veteran, former president of the National Association of Basketball Coaches. Magnificent career at the collegiate level, and now installing the triple post. And Lenny Wilkins, the winningest coach in NBA history. I mean, we have got just a master filled lineup of coaches working the sidelines in tonight's game. And Michael Jordan's return. If you're wondering, in the first 3 games, sluggish against the Pacers, really put it together, almost a point per minute played against the Celtics in Boston, and then against the Magic got off to a slow start, never really recovered as Orlando's fresh legs took advantage of Chicago in the later going. The Bulls hammered the Hawks in Chicago last week. The Bulls lead this series, and notably Atlanta's lone victory, the first meeting between these two teams at the United Center in Chicago very early in the season. Our officials tonight, Jake O'Donnell, Woody Mayfield, and Jim Clark, and the opening tip is controlled to the Hawks. Jordan starts out defensively on Steve Smith. Too strong from Steve, and Scottie Pippen brings it down.
Steve anticipating a strong defensive effort from Jordan.
The turnaround won't go from MJ.
See, Jordan can give you a lot of problems at low post, though. They can't give him that pass that close in the lane.
Blaylock, quick dump down to Augman, and the plastic man with a patented baseline maneuver gives Atlanta its first points of the night. Kukoc over Grant Long. We're tied at 2.
Kukoc, not a great long-range shooter, a good shooter, but you'd rather him there than in the lane passing and dunking.
Augman forced to take the standstill jumper over Scottie Pippen. That is the scouting report, and Stacey up to it to give Atlanta the 2-point edge.
See, Kukoc more deadly right here.
Well, absolutely, on that low block, utilizing the drop step to get past Grant Long to tie the game at 4.
Michael, of course, one of the great defensive players in the NBA as well. Not applying a lot of pressure early to Steve Smith. Still getting his legs and his conditioning. Thank goodness.
Lang with the high pick for Mookie Blaylock. Grant Long on the offensive glass.
Excellent hustle by Grant Long. He'll have to attack the glass and play big tonight.
Pippen trying to solo. Scottie does draw the foul. It is a push on Stacey Augman.
Number 2, Stacey Augman, his first, the team's first.
We were speaking earlier about Michael Jordan, 5th on the all-time steals list. 6th times an all-defensive performer in the NBA.
You know, and he and Scottie both just great defensive players. They put Michael on you. They used to call him the glove when they wanted to shut somebody down. And since his absence, Scottie kind of had that role, and they would just call it the Pippen factor and ask him to go shut down the best offensive player on the other team.
Atlanta by 1. Pippen gets one of the 2.
Tough take for Stacey here with Scottie, and
it was just not a matchup to his liking. Although Stacey does manage the foul from Pippen. Utilizing some patience there. Pippen bailing him out. I really get a feeling, Stinger, as the opening moments of this game get underway, that Steve Smith, coming off a 1-for-11 performance, easily his worst game in the last couple of months for the Hawks, is in a position tonight where he needs something positive to happen early, particularly with all eyes on Jordan and matching up against him.
You know, interesting, Tim, and he started off a little tentative. His first open jump shot, he was anticipating what Michael Jordan would do. On offense, you want to be the initiator, not waiting to see how the defense is going to play you.
We will watch that matchup here in the first quarter very closely, particularly where Smith is concerned because of what happened last night, and he needs something positive to happen early. Kukoc, the finger roll won't go, and Andrew Lang brings it down.
Good to see Lang playing in the trenches, doing the blue collar work, coming up with that rebound.
Kukoc, an overplay.
See, this is the mismatch right here. This is Grant Long against Kukoc, and
That's
just
good
able
move.
to go right around him, but can't score it.
Yeah, he short-armed it. That was the move we showed at the outset of the game where he could take advantage. In the open court, facing the basket. Tough to find anyone that large any better than Kukoc.
Absolutely, and Scotty, when he brings it, there's such a dangerous ball club.
Ogman, left-hand hook won't go. Loose ball foul will go against Grant Long.
Grant didn't like that call, had pretty good position. Grant trying to play physical basketball and gets whistled for the foul. Take a look at Stacy trying to find an open shot. Pippen, excellent defensive position. There's the jump hook, and Grant Long underneath just going up for the rebound and gets an unfortunate call.
Off the curl, Jordan lost it. Now double team. B.J. Armstrong, now three. And the rebound to Stacey Ogman. Blaylock working on Armstrong.
3 seconds.
Ogman, great move by Stacey, just can't get it to go. The putback won't fall, and Kukoc clears. Armstrong trying to get it to Pippen, deflected briefly by Ogman. And Scotty takes it to the rack with authority.
See, Scotty has to love Michaels being back in the lineup because you forget how magnificent Scotty is. Now defenses can't key on him as often, and he gets easy lay-ins like that one.
Bulls by 1, 9-8. Lang on the wing. That shot is there. Andrew did play well in that game at Chicago. One of the few bright spots in what was a loss of 13 that could have been by far more than that. Michael, with the kind iron, knocks it down. Count the basket, he'll get to the line.
And that's a foul charge to number 2, Stacey Ogman, his second. The team's third.
Tell you, Michael Jordan, you know, for the last couple of years, Tim, I've tried to decide if he's a jump shooter now. When you see him stop and pop with the kind iron, meaning good backspin, good trajectory, he's a shooter now in addition to everything else. Jump shooter.
Blaylock splitting double team after double team. Lang. Hawks missing a number of easy chances down low. And on the other end, Pippen's pass a bit too strong for Kukoc. Phil Jackson, ever the philosopher about this comeback, said that after watching Michael Jordan in practice, it was like a seal getting back in the water. Very knowledgeable guy, and you see Jimmy Rogers there to his side along with Jimmy Clemens, a part of this staff. Steve Smith picked up that foul. Hawks control it, down by 2, 12-10, almost 5 minutes gone here in the opening quarter.
Oh, nice read by Stacey. Jordan tried to overplay. Hawks still scrambling, though, to get a good shot up.
Blaylock for 3. Counted and a foul. B.J. Armstrong picking it up. You know, that is another example of how Mookie is more effective with a shot clock running down rather than when he's in an open position with plenty of time to launch.
And what a long shot. He gets the goal and the foul. Stacey Ogman being active tonight, a good sign. Take a look at him here on the low post, taking it quickly to the basket. Kukoc can't defend that one, moves the ball and scores on the jumper. Look outside, giving him the jump shot. That's the book on Stacey. Takes it, knocks it down. His attitude has to be tonight that if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me giving you my best. I'm not going to concede that I can't be a factor tonight.
6 points in the game for Ogman. And if in fact Steve Smith is taken away some offensively because of the matchup with Jordan, obviously Ogman needs to play big, and he was attempting a Jordan-esque move right there just as we spoke. 14-12, Atlanta by 2. Jordan gets away from Steve Smith.
Speaking about the jumper, 9.7 on that one. Nice fall away jumper. Nothing but nylon.
Augman again. The pull-up. Steve Smith trying for the offensive putback. Andrew Lang loses it. Jordan stripped him out of bounds to Chicago.
Jordan, quick hands, always involved at slapping away the pass and coming back and helping out on the center. Lang has to take it strong to the basket and put pressure on the front line of the Bulls and can't shoot fallaways.
Kukoc at finger roll, driving to the hoop, and Kukoc has 8. And it's really his game that's come under the microscope since Michael's arrival. So he's having a bit of a coming out party of the post-Michael era here in the first quarter tonight.
Well, Hawks got the switch. Grant Long now has the smaller Michael Jordan on it.
And he draws the foul.
Good execution by the Hawks, forcing the switch by setting a good screen on Jordan. And Grant Long's able to use his size against Michael.
Grant Long gets to the line.
Grant Long at the line, and he shoots 2.
Grant Long had an interesting comment prior to tonight's game. He said on the plane home last night from Cleveland, we might as well come out in our road uniforms. I mean, there are going to be as many people there rooting for Michael Jordan as there could possibly be for the Hawks. Grant is a very intelligent guy, and you see Longley coming into the game, and Will Perdue sits down. And I think his perspective on different matchups is always interesting, and he views tonight's game as a true challenge for this entire Hawks organization to win over some fans that perhaps heretofore have not been to an Atlanta game.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You've got to take advantage of the energy and a lot of people in the seats that can be Hawk fans, the ones that are not already. Nice show by Andrew Lang.
Kukoc falling away, fouled by Long.
Bailed out. Long does not agree with that foul. Kukoc was falling away so hard from the basket. Doesn't see how the foul could be called.
To number 43, Grant Long. His second.
2 on Grant Long. Stacy already with a couple to go along with Grant, and Kenny Norman will come into the game for the first time.
Into the Hawks lineup, number 4, Ken Norman.
Snake makes his way in, and Grant Long sits down. So change the defensive texture of Atlanta's play against the Bulls. Chicago by 2.
Bulls extend the defense with a little 2-2-1 press as Steve Smith tries to get the baseline but has nowhere to go. Now he has the one-on-one matchup with Kukoc. Long arms, so have to be careful with the quick jumper.
And on the isolation, he knocks it down. Even with that switch, though, Mike, wouldn't you agree that it's important that he make a couple of quick baskets here in this quarter?
Oh, absolutely, and much more confident with Kukoc on him than Pippen or Jordan.
Norman fouls Kukoc. But no, they'll reverse that. It will go against Kukoc as Kenny Norman, taking a page from Grant Long's defensive style, induces the foul from Tony.
Well, Snake knows he wants to go to his left hand as often as possible, even though he slaps at the basketball. Has his kind of fortunate to get that call, but he had his body in good position, and that's why he got the call.
Yeah, I'd say he was fortunate.
Yeah.
Smith off the pick from Kenny. Long rebound to B.J. Armstrong. The dump to Longley. Rejected by Lang. He had 5 blocked shots last night in Cleveland. Quietly, Andrew Lang had a double-double and 5 rejections last night. The high lob for Norman a bit too strong. Steve Smith obviously having to respect the defender in that situation, Michael Jordan. 4:17 remaining in the opening period. Tyrone Corbin set to come in on the next dead ball. Jordan gives it up to B.J. Armstrong.
Good rotation by Snake to come out on B.J.
Kenny Norman on the wing. Blaylock keeping it alive, but Longley retrieves it. The outlet to Jordan. Michael gives it to Tony Kukoc. 10 in the game for Kukoc, and a nice find by MJ. 20-18. Smith.
Very nice. Couldn't get it to go first time.
They missed a number of those inside tonight.
Yes, he had the mismatch, had BJ on him down low and went quickly. Just couldn't get the shot to go. Now you got Michael with Mookie on him. Michael obviously has a height advantage. He's going to need a double team down there. Much too late, but
Ogman brings it down.
Well, you got Lang on the low post. Longley, though, much bigger than Lang. This is a tougher challenge for him.
Lang. Just listen to the stinger, folks. We're tied at 20. Timeout, Chicago. 2:50 remaining here in the opening period. Crisply played from an offensive standpoint. You got to respect Michael. And Kukoc already in double digits.
Okay, tie ball game. In the book on Tony Kukoc, make him go to his right. He's not as quick when he goes to his right. Take a look here. Looks like a two guard. Fake left, and look at him go quickly to his right. Grant Long does not have time to catch up, and Kukoc lays it in.
Kukoc takes a seat, as does Michael Jordan. The last time the Bulls were in this building, Kukoc had 14 in the first quarter, wound up with 19 for the game. Already 12 tonight. Stoyak and Pete Myers are in the game now, as Luke Longley gets the jump hook for his first deuce.
Big Luke could be the missing link, the big guy they need to be productive. Of course, Cartwright, no longer a Chicago Bull, better defensive player and offensive, but they need a contribution from the middle. Down low.
Lang working pick and roll with Mookie. Can't get it to fall, and Ogman tips it in. An acrobatic Stacy here in the opening period has 8 of Atlanta's 22. Stoyak just back off the injured list. Got a little verbal last night against Orlando. Armstrong, a floater. Pippen on the offensive glass. Rejected, but can count the hoop. It was on the backboard as Kenny Norman knocked it away. So Pippen has 5, and it's 24-22 Chicago.
See, many nights Pippen has to play big and lead them even with their inside rebounding. Good look there and a nice reverse move, and Snake blocks it on the glass for the goal team.
Andrew Lang backing it on Longley, waits for the double team and gets it.
Ty Corbin wide open but didn't want the shot.
Ogman fouled by Pete Myers.
Oh yeah, but nice quick move, Stacy. Even though Pete Myers bailed him out, you want to force Stacy to shoot that turnaround baseline jumper, but take a look at how quickly he goes baseline, gathers and springs high off the floor and gets the foul from Pete Myers. Good defensive player.
Ogman out to a quality start in this game. He has 9. And Enos Watley will check in. Mookie Blaylock sits down.
Well, good to see Stacy being a factor. Hawks really need him to be consistently aggressive, getting tip-ins around the basket, getting to the free throw line, challenging the defense. Really helps the Hawks offense to put some points on the board. Bulls obviously not as fluid with this unit on the floor.
Out of bounds. It will be controlled to Chicago. We welcome those of you that may have been watching the North Carolina-Kentucky regional final, won by the Tar Heels 74-61. Tim Brando along with the stinger Mike Glenn here at the Omni in Atlanta. We're tied at 24 with 1:10 to play in the opening period, and a 5-second call against the Bulls as they turn it over, and the Hawks get it.
Well, that's the second 5-second call in 2 days we've seen by the Atlanta Hawks defense.
Michael Jordan has been sitting for the last couple of minutes. Both he and Tony Kukoc are now on the pine. Kukoc has 12 points in this quarter to lead Chicago, and an illegal defense spotted against the Bulls. Michael is 2 of 4 from the floor in the first 9 minutes of play with 5 points. After his 7 of 28 showing last night, he's not looking as much to shoot, and it'll be interesting to see how many minutes he really does play tonight in his first back-to-back situation since coming back.
And Stacey drawing double teams now, still aggressive, couldn't get that shot to go, but causing havoc on the interior defense.
B.J. Armstrong uses the glass. His first basket, 26-24 Chicago.
Hawks looking to Stacey often. The majority of the offensive moves going through his hands. Nice kick out.
Kenny Norman wide open. Off the back iron. Long rebound to Armstrong. Lead pass for Krystkowiak, picked off by Kenny Norman. And Scottie Pippen gets in the way. Nice save by Watley. Ogman, oh my.
Beautifully done. Plastic Man just lays the long arm out and gives a little flip.
You may have his airness on the other side, but the limb patrol belongs to Stacey Ogman. 26-26 with 6.4 remaining here in the first. Armstrong.
Oh, my goodness.
Right past Kenny Norman.
Hawks defense asleep, assuming that the clock would run out.
Lenny Wilkins not at all pleased with that sequence as the Bulls take a 2-point lead, 28-26. But the Plastic Man has been heard from. 12 points in the first period to lead Atlanta, getting it done in a variety of ways. Chicago by 2 through 1. Omni in Atlanta, Michael Jordan returning to the court after a few minutes on the bench. Craig Sager stopped by, and we had a conversation with him during the timeout, Stinger, and he made comments relative to a conversation that he had with Michael in the wake of last night's game.
Yeah, well, he says Michael is kind of like a punch-drunk fighter, but I think it's like a player in the middle of training camp.
Yeah.
Yes, Andrew Lang slaps it out. Because let's face it, he's only had about 5 practices. You don't have the legs. He's playing huge minutes, 40-plus minutes a couple of times already, and it takes a while to get your rhythm, time, and sense of direction, and Michael's a little tired.
Norman off the front iron. Jordan skies to bring that one down.
So much for that philosophy on that play.
A little tired from Michael is better than most when they're in good shape.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But see, those kind of plays will be routine when he gets his legs back completely. But your legs go through a change. They go through a period where they're strong and then they get totally taken away from you and they rebuild and they're stronger. That's the process you go through with the training camp. So he's still in the middle of that training camp process.
Phil Jackson very aware of that, trying to get him as many minutes now as he possibly can to get him playoff proven. Andrew Lang from a little beyond his range. Krystkowiak keeping it alive for Steve Kerr. Kerr opening the quarter with his first minutes of the night. Leaves it for Jordan.
Not enough legs for that shot.
The outlet to Kerr. Great jump shoot.
Yes.
Largest lead of the game as the Bulls open with 7 unanswered and take a 9-point lead, 35-26. The explosion doesn't take long with this Bulls team. They have so many answers on the offensive end, including Stevie Kerr.
Michael Jordan having an impact on the game. Take a look at a nice rebound and pushes it down the floor himself. Surveys the situation and says, hey, this is far enough. I'll stop and I'll pop.
Yes, the Bulls are in vogue, even with those working tonight. The impact of Michael can be felt. Fast break points, all with the Bulls. pitching a shutout against Atlanta here in the early going. Lenny Wilkins obviously would like to write that statistic quickly. Steve Smith working on Pete Myers. 4 on the shot clock.
Oh, very nicely done. Little turnaround jump shot in between games. Steve Smith knocks down a nice jumper.
Steve is 2 for 5 from the floor. Now the unenviable task of checking Jordan. And here's Kerr working off the pick from Krystkowiak. Lang gets a hand in there on that entry pass to Luke Longley. Lang just hit the deck and is holding his knee.
Oh, it's going to have to take a 20.
20-second timeout, Atlanta.
While in transition, Lang went down and quickly reached for his knee. Joe O'Toole out there to check him out as quickly as possible. This is a Hawks team that is tremendously thin. We've already seen what the loss of a Craig Elo and a Stacey Augmon can do. They went into a skid prior to Augmon's return. It appears as if Lang is going to be okay. There's Craig, who they hope to work back in slowly so that by early April he's getting a few more minutes. Jim Less, of course, also on the injured list for the remainder of the year. Enos Watley has signed for the bulk of this regular season.
Oh, Cadillac Anderson in the game, and he's the guy that hits the boards, plays big. He's the kind of center you want playing against the Bulls, at least from the defensive and rebounding perspective.
Krystkowiak brings down that rebound.
Well, Michael's on the floor with an interesting unit. Neither Pippen nor Kukoc in the game.
Myers can't hit. Cadillac Anderson hauls it down. You're right. It's since his return, I don't know that I've seen this particular lineup at the same time.
Right, and it's a little pressure on him and their offense to be as effective without one of the creators that have been there all season long on the floor. You never saw Scotty and Kukoc out of the game at the same time, hardly ever.
Loose ball foul against Larry Krystkowiak.
His first, the team's first.
First team foul against the Bulls in the second. Smith trying to work a pick and roll, finds Corbin instead, and Ty Corbin knocks it down. Well, 35 to 30.
You like the way Ty Corbin doesn't hesitate. If he has that elbow jump shot, he shoots it right in rhythm, knocks that one down.
Jordan setting the pick. Stevie Kerr knocking it down.
Number 25.
Nice option off that triple post. You can pass it weak side, or Jordan sets a nice back screen on that occasion. Now Snake needs to take Krystkowiak, use a little quickness and finesse.
Rejected by Longley. Krystkowiak knew he had some help.
Yeah.
We were speaking earlier of Steve Kerr. I think much like John Paxson, who benefited greatly from Michael Jordan and hit that critical shot. You see Paxson now working radio now with the Chicago Bulls. Kerr has the chance to play that role now that Jordan has returned.
Oh, he certainly does. That was his role even with Scotty and Kukoc, and more so now with Jordan. And Snake gets on track, and it's important for Snake to get on track. We need a forward to give us some scoring.
Kenny Norman, 1 of 5 from the floor, brings the Hawks to within 4. Myers, nice head fake to get Corbin airborne, but Ty stays with it. And the quick outlet to Blaylock. 3-on-2 for Mookie. Leaves it for Kenny Norman. And the Hawks miss a break opportunity. Lenny Wilkins and Mookie Blaylock a little angry with Jake O'Donnell for not blowing the whistle.
Well, Mookie thought that Steve Kerr moved into him, bumped him a little bit on that play as Mookie took it real deep. He stopped at the free throw line, would have had a little short jumper. Thought he had a chance to lay it in or get a layup, could not.
The Hawks' problems in scoring with fast break opportunities continues. Longley finally gets it. Count it, and a foul.
See, Phil Jackson wants him to be a scorer on the low post. He needs a low post presence from one of his big guys, and he's real excited, really congratulating Luke Longley for looking for a shot. He's a big guy. Shoots the little fall away jumper and gets it to go.
Yeah, he could be a real X factor in the playoffs if Chicago is going to be as successful as they are deemed to be. He could be the player that takes them to that next level against the likes of an Indiana or an Orlando. 40-33, Bulls by 7.
Jordan plays over top of passing lanes, and Steve Smith warming up.
7 in the game for Smith as he knocks down the tray. Jordan way too strong. Pippen on the offensive glass. Nice save by Kerr and Scotty. But Scotty was finally on the sideline, and it goes over to the Hawks. Both he and Kerr were doing a little tightrope act prior to that turnover.
Hawks need a hoop right here. Offensive foul on Cadillac Anderson. In old NBA terms, that would be called a makeup call. Questionable call on the other end, or none call. Pippen felt he was pushed out of bounds. Now Cadillac Anderson gets the foul for setting a screen. A little active on the screen. They say he's still moving. That maybe Mookie makes his move before Cadillac is set. So actually a proper call, but sometimes officials let that one go.
That comes from a shooting guard, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
A man who relied heavily on picks.
Indeed.
Kerr can't hit.
Kerr takes a difficult shot.
Ron Harper feeds Pippen. Oh, Harper just into the game. Makes his presence felt, feeding Pippen, who has 7. 42-36. Just over 6 minutes left here in the first half.
Well, Steve Smith beginning to warm up. Steve Kerr, better defender than you give him credit for. Really challenges and plays hard on the defensive end.
Good ball movement by the Hawks. Steve comes up empty, raising the iron. Kerr missed Jordan. Pippen drives to the basket and makes it count. He has 9, and he has elevated his offense in the second quarter. 44-36. Bulls by 8. Corbin way offline. Follows his own shot. Rejected by Longley. Now Jordan leads a 3-on-2. And the trailer. Hello. His Earnest Chapter 1 here at the Omni. And a quick timeout call by Atlanta.
Pippen and Michael Jordan have a chemistry looking for each other. Both great athletes. Take a look at this setup.
And I think that Grant Long's comments relative to this being a game in which you're almost going to feel like a road team at home really came to fruition there as we saw the reaction to Jordan's first true highlight of tonight's game.
You kidding me? I saw 3 of the Hawks standing up cheering. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Everybody's glad to see his Ernest come back with some effect and impact.
John Koncak made an interesting point relative to the Players Association that regardless of how many wins the Bulls get, each player in this league needs to be satisfied because merchandising is going to be raised to such a level, and the players are going to get a larger share of that within the new collective bargaining agreement.
You're absolutely right. And this sellout house, due to people's wanting to see Michael Jordan, obviously.
Ron Harper picked up that foul, and yes, there have been other sellouts this year, but notable no-shows. You cannot make that statement tonight. The building is in fact full. Better than 16,000 on hand here at the Omni.
Hawks getting good mileage from baseline screens now. They're bringing the ball up, centering it in the middle of the floor and running Mookie Blaylock and Steve Smith off baseline screens that we're seeing right here. And now Steve Smith is open. They're getting that play's been effective for him. And Steve Smith knocks that jumper down.
Well called, my friend. 10 for Steve Smith. Now Jordan looks to Ron Harper, who's still trying to find himself within this triple post look that the Bulls employ. Sort of a no-look pass from Jordan to Kerr. And the Hawks will bail them out.
Yes.
Foul will go against Tyrone Corbin, much to his chagrin.
Well, Coach Lenny has to be pleased with the initial defensive effort. Bulls really did not have a decent shot anywhere on the floor, but the foul bails out the Bulls and gives them the ball on the side.
Jordan leaves it for B.J. Armstrong, and Harper's open. Ogman brings it down. Nice defensive sequence by Atlanta. Andrew Lang back in the game and apparently healthy.
Steve Smith wants to try his pet move and see if he can get Michael to give up the baseline, but looks like ain't nothing happening there.
Blaylock gets Armstrong airborne and makes it count. Mookie has 7. 46-42.
Bulls very active, jumping at Mookie's shot tonight. Mookie's shot had a 4-point play earlier and has B.J. jumping, going airborne now.
Longley lost it. There's an example of what Jordan brings to the fray that Longley has to adjust to.
He does.
That kind of entry pass that Michael can give up. Ogman with the answer on the other end, and Stacy doing his best. He has 14 on the night. And the Hawks down by only 2 in the midst of an 8-0 spurt. Longley not there. Ogman beats Pippen to the glass.
Boy, Stacy playing big tonight, being active, getting good production. Yes, Steve, freeze him and shoot the long jumper, but no.
Pippen with the rebound, the scrambler with the pickpocket to Mookie. Laying on the glass, counted and a foul. Well, there is every player playing his role for the Hawks. Pippen gets the foul, his second. And Smith, although he missed, made this entire play.
He did. Ty Corbin with a nice steal, and Mookie shoots a fadeaway three-pointer from the corner. But nonetheless, Andrew Lang says, I'll take that one. Powers it up, gets the foul. Tie basketball game with the free throw coming up. We have a tie ball game, but take a look at Steve Smith as he freezes Scottie Pippen and just lets the long jumper go. He's open, looks him down, freezes him, he's open, shoots it short, but now in the hustle, Ty Corbin gets a hand on it, and Mookie shoots a decline, fall away jump shot there, and there's Andrew Lang hanging around the glass, playing big.
Steve all smiles here in the early going, and that's a missed shot, but Mike, you make the point. That's what you want from Steve Smith. Don't be bashful because you were 1 for 11 last night, and as evidence there, you allow Ty Corbin to do his job, which allows Andrew Lang to go to the glass and get an opportunity for a three-point play.
Tim, tell you a key philosophy of a true jump shooter. You always believe the next shot is going in. If you're 0 for 10, that 11th shot is going in. Steve has to live with that philosophy and shoot his shot. If coach doesn't like it, take me out.
Andrew Lang at the line. He has 6 points and 4 rebounds here in the first half.
And that's only if you're a shooter now. If you're not a shooter, don't you try that philosophy if you don't have the goods.
I trust you on that one.
Yes.
47-46. Atlanta retakes the lead. B.J. Armstrong back on the floor. This is an 11-0 run now for the Hawks. Michael Jordan, air ball. Nice defensive work by Smith in that sequence.
Well, Ty Corbin told us they're going to try to play him and make him shoot jumpers rather than go to the basket.
Nice outlet by Jordan for Pippen. And Scotty missed the finger roll. Mookie now has a 4-on-2. Smith for 3.
Yes! Yes! Steve Smith. Mookie goes for the tray with the outlet pass to the perimeter, and Steve knocks down the tray. Good decision, great shot.
14 unanswered for Atlanta. Pippen misses another layup. Numbers again. Augman for Mookie. Yeah. 53-46, 17-0 run for Atlanta. Purdue slapped and fouled by Steve Smith. And this run now, over a 5-minute, 22-second span, is up to 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
But you know, Tim, that this whole run started when Phil Jackson had that weird lineup in the ball game with Kukoc and Pippen out of the game, and the Hawks had a nice run. Perimeter jump shots started falling. Michael still trying to find his rhythm, particularly on his jump shot. And Scottie Pippen has missed a couple of easy jumpers, easy lay-ins that he normally will not miss.
Our Old Spice NBA scoreboard. Indiana up on Philadelphia in the second. That's a team that's looking awfully dangerous again. The Indiana Pacers.
Absolutely. You don't want them in the first round.
Now that Dale Davis is back.
And Antonio Davis.
Yep.
Oh, a little over and back action.
Mookie very upset with that call from Jim Clark. He felt that B.J. Armstrong used a little body to get him to the other side. That was when he gave that ball up to Jake O'Donnell. He was dangerously close to being teed up.
He was. Jake thought about it and said, it's okay. Not such a bad pass.
That's a veteran official.
Yes, it is. Don't mess with Jake.
Trying to utilize that crossover dribble. Will Purdue picks up a moving pick violation. Tim Brando along with the Stinger, Mike Glenn. Happy to have you with us on Sports South tonight. The Atlanta Hawks by 5 in the midst of a 17-0 run here in the second quarter.
Well, one adjustment the Bulls have. Oh, as you look at a beautiful pass.
Purdue will pick up that foul. His second.
Take a look at Mookie Blaylock going away from the play and just throws the ball back across his body, and Grant Long takes it strong, and Will Purdue has to foul him. One adjustments the Bulls have made. They have now Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan guarding the wing players, trying to cut down some of those wing perimeter jump shots that the Hawks have knocked down recently.
Atlanta, a perfect 11 for 11 at the line in this first half, and their lead is now up to 7, their largest of this game. Bulls have led by as many as 9. Kukoc, who had a tremendous first quarter, gets past Grant Long to stop the bleeding for the moment. End-to-end Augman. A failure to rotate by the Bulls defense does not make Phil Jackson a happy camper. 16 for Augman.
Kukoc defense by Grant Long.
Lang keeping it alive for Blaylock. He's got Augman on one wing, Smith on the other. And there is Steve Smith.
Yes.
And how? And how? He has 16 and a coming out party in the second quarter.
Boy, long range jump shots falling from the sky for Steve Smith.
You do get a sense that this game is a bit more meaningful for the Hawks, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Pippen.
Oh, Scotty had evil intentions with the between the leg dribble and the left hand extension. Hawks had to foul him.
And a little woofing to follow, too, with Stacey Augmon and Grant Long.
Take a look at it. It goes between the legs, accelerates left, goes high, and tries to jam it home with the left hand. Trying to get a little respectability back in this ball game as the Hawks have dominated this second quarter.
Scottie Pippen has forever been a player coming out of Central Arkansas that yearned for respect. Ron Harper coming back into the game. When you come up that way, you do play with attitude. And one of the reasons that Michael Jordan and he get along so well is that Michael's persona is such that Scottie Pippen is going to be allowed to play with the emotion and the intensity at all times. They are a contrast in styles, not only in their play, but also their perspectives.
Absolutely.
He's missed a couple of easy ones, both layups and now free throws, and we've come to the end of the first half. Very well played second quarter by the Hawks, including a 17-0 run. Steve Smith and Stacey Augmon, major factors as Michael Jordan's trip into the Omni has been tough for the first half. A 24-5 run and the Hawks lead. Cage and company. Tonight they're doing the job on the glass, staying in it both on the offensive side and on the defensive side. The fast break points all with the Bulls, but again, you look at the points in the paint, Atlanta hanging around, and the second chance points are almost even.
And that's a sign of good rebounding and tenacity on the inside. If they'll have that mindset, they can get some second chance points. Michael Jordan coming down this time, deciding not to stop and pop, but gives a nice pass to Tony Kukoc, who dunks it home for the easy two. Steve Smith caught on fire, outside, inside, in between jumper, turns and fires on that jumper. Mookie Blaylock here, Hawks feeding off the miss. Ball making its way down court, and there's Mookie Blaylock setting up in the corner, has his feet set, is not falling back on that jumper, and knocks it down.
The Hawks are leading the rebounding statistic 23-21. Believe me, that's news regardless of the opponent. Anytime the Hawks are on the floor. They lead by 9, and we'll be back. Money he has in assets, how much money he has in debts,
Absolutely.
Those types of things.
Absolutely. Expenses, debits, and credits.
Exactly. Things that the Stinger many times is concerned with as well.
There you go. Absolutely.
The crowd is, I think, now over Michael's return. I get a feeling that now it's just an NBA game between the Bulls and the Hawks. In the first half, there was that feeling of almost a heavyweight championship bout, which I'm sure is always the case in every new arena for Michael to visit. And this is return to the NBA.
You know, they said that was the case last night. As you take a look at the leading scores for the Bulls there, Tony Kukoc leading the way, Scotty and Michael following. They said that in the pregame, they almost took the ceiling off the building at the United Center. It was just electrifying, but once the game settled down, it was basketball as usual.
And, you know, that's interesting because we've been in the United Center, and as beautiful as that building is, it's tough for the noise really to be heard. So that means it had to be deafening.
Oh, yeah, it certainly did. A big building there with a lot of space in there.
We start the second half. The Bulls with possession. B.J. Armstrong along with Jordan, Purdue, Kukoc, and Pippen, and Michael gets the first basket of the second half. He has 11.
Bulls showing a little trap early. I think Kukoc just doing that since Grant Long had not crossed half court.
On the reach in, Scottie Pippen is tagged.
Of course, Pippen leads the NBA in steals and thought he saw an opportunity on that occasion to pick up a cheap steal while Andrew Lang was not looking.
Before Jordan's return, Scottie led the team in 6 categories,
Awesome.
Stinger. And now he obviously has to give way to Michael in so many of those categories.
He certainly will, and more after each game.
That'll be a 3-second violation against Grant Long.
Well, one thing you don't want to happen early here, Tim, is the Bulls have shown a little trap. You don't want to become reactionary, tentative, waiting to see what the Bulls are going to do. Hawks were the aggressor in the second quarter. They have to continue their aggressive ways here in the third.
Andrew Lang coming out to show on B.J. Armstrong. Nice ball fake by B.J. Can't get it to go, however, and Grant Long hauls it down. Now it's Mookie Blaylock to run B.J. Armstrong through some picks as Steve Smith operates at the point.
And Grant Long has the mismatch. Michael, a smaller player,
gives it up to Lang. And Andrew draws the foul. Nice offensive recognition by Atlanta. Will Perdue picks up the foul, his third.
And Scotty and Michael having conversation with Will Perdue. Here, Grant Long isolated. Will Perdue a little late coming over, and as a result, Andrew Lang gets an easy one. I think they wanted Will Perdue to come over and rotate earlier, knowing that somebody would slide down and prevent the pass to be made to Andrew Lang.
11 of the 12 players on the Bulls roster played in the first half. The only that did not see any playing time was Bill Winnington. And I really find that interesting. I understand that Luke Longley is the player that Phil Jackson really sees as the future of the organization. But Stinger Winnington brings you a center that can step out and hit that wing jump shot.
He certainly does, and I think why they're not using that, they need an inside presence. They have so many wing jump shooters, slashers, creators, but where is the post up? As the commercial says, where's the beef? Longley's the beef.
Pippen steps out. Tries to get it over Lang, and Grant Long pulls it down, and Will Perdue picks up a fourth.
See, you like the way Grant Long is playing. He's playing as if I don't really have that much respect for your inside game, for your centers or your power forwards. He's just ripping rebounds away, putting all kind of pressure on the front line of the Bulls, and ultimately, this is how the Bulls will leave the playoffs.
In on Kukoc, and another whistle. Kukoc will be tagged for the foul, his second. The book on Kukoc is that he can't defend, and Grant Long trying to illustrate that for the Bulls. It's easy to see where the holes with the Bulls are. I mean, they definitely have holes and they have deficiencies on the defensive end. But Mike, I really believe when you look at the Eastern Conference, even with those deficiencies, if things fall properly for them, they can make life miserable for the Charlottes and the New Yorks of the world.
Oh, they certainly can, no doubt about it. Krzysztofiak, a new addition just coming off the injured list. If players like that can come in and play physically, just give them some solid interior presence, step it up a little bit, catch those passes that Michael throws to you and do something with them, you're absolutely right.
10-point lead for Atlanta. Jordan off the dribble.
See, that's the tough one. Stop and pop jump.
Pippen loses it to Mookie. Atlanta still a solid foundation in this game. Off the glass, they have played right with Chicago in the low post. Smith loves this matchup against BJ.
Absolutely, has a little one. I'm surprised he didn't score that. Took his time, got the shot he wanted, just couldn't get it to go.
Now Jordan isolated on Smith.
Freezes him. Steve says, go ahead, take the jumper. And
Lang! Andrew with a big-time rejection of Scottie Pippen. His second block shot of the night.
Andrew just playing big as Michael can't get anything but the jump shot, so he passes to a cutting Scottie Pippen, and Andrew Lang says we'll have none of that.
He's actually deflected 3, but 2 of them have been big-time blocks, and Lang hauls down the board. It's his 6th rebound of the night. Nice look, Blaylock to Long. Mookie with a find. 9 in the game for Grant Long, and the Hawks are up by a dozen.
Well, John trying to set up the triple post says, where's my triangle? Where's my player in the corner? Bulls slow in developing the triple post, so Mike may have to go solo.
He can. He did. And rather well, I might add.
With style.
65-55.
Jordan a little frustrated because the Bulls didn't flow into that triple post that they've been running this season alone for 60-plus games. Steve Smith can't get the baseline. His pet move against Jordan, settles for the jumper.
Long keeping it alive yet again. Boy, Grant Long really playing big for the Hawks. That'll be an over and back.
Backcourt violation in Atlanta.
Andrew Lang had to run back there to get it, not give up the open layup to B.J. Armstrong. Lenny Wilkins has to be very satisfied with his team's overall play, both on the offensive and defensive ends, after falling behind by 9 late in the first quarter.
Well, you know, they haven't been intimidated at all. They're taking it right to the Bulls, saying, if you're going to beat me, go ahead and beat me, but I'm not going to concede anything, and he likes that attitude.
Jordan falling away. 15 for Michael.
Hawks giving him the jumper, saying, we want you to be Michael the jump shot shooter. See if you can hurt us that way. Beginning to get a few of those shots to go here. Very nice ball movement in between jumper.
Smith a little late making that move.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd have rather seen him take the shot.
Take the shot. Don't play with it.
Pippen. That is 3 layups. Not nearly a layup, almost a layup, but point blank range shots that Scottie Pippen has missed in tonight's game.
And very uncharacteristic of Scottie. Of course, they did have the emotional game against the Magic last night. Maybe just a little leg weary.
Jordan gets the pick from Purdue. It's Jordan time now. 65-59.
MJ getting a little adrenaline here. We don't need any more of that adrenaline flowing through his body this evening.
Long. Stripped by Kukoc. Lang keeps it on the deck.
Lang tried to pass that instead of taking it right up.
Armstrong to Kukoc. And you're right, Stinger. Too often the Hawks don't think shot first, and that is a tremendous example of it. Andrew Lang kept it on the deck, suddenly made himself small, and this Bulls run is now 8-0 to close to within 4.
Hawks lead dwindling as they get tentative around the paint. Take a look here. Grant Long, that's a 15-footer. Free throw jumper, tries to drive, and now Andrew Lang beneath the dotted line trying to pass instead of powering it up toward the basket. As a result, Bulls out on a fast break. A couple of good passes, and Kukoc drops it in.
You mentioned it at the top of this quarter, although Atlanta did surge to a 12-point lead, that they appeared to be a bit on their heels and a little reactionary, and that replay there definitely exemplified that. 65-61, shot clock down to 5. Blaylock.
Oh, tough jumper. B.J. right in his face.
67-61. 12 in the game for Blaylock. Kukoc gives it up to Jordan, who is now taking control. 5 of 7 from the floor for 10 points in this quarter for Michael. 19 on the night. 67-63. Blaylock running the curl. That'll be a moving pick against Grant Long.
Atlanta foul charge number 10.
Long definitely leads this team in offensive fouls caused by setting screens for shooters.
His third. And offensive
Coach Lenny wants to design plays to get Mookie involved with the offense. Feels that he can give you some perimeter jump shots.
10-2 spurt for Chicago over the last 3.5 minutes. Have you noticed that while Jordan has emerged in this quarter, Smith has become a bit more invisible on the offensive end? And all of that because of the responsibility of checking Michael Jordan. It's not we're not criticizing Steve, but it's a heck of an undertaking to score big-time points and check Michael Jordan.
Absolutely, and Jordan becoming more active, cutting, asking for the basketball, hitting the outside jumper. Bulls starting to look for him.
Kukoc not anticipating what Scottie Pippen had in mind. So a communication breakdown, and Michael Jordan lets Kukoc know about it as they go back to the other end. 10th turnover of the game for the Bulls. And Mookie returns the favor. Kukoc.
Nice close down by Grant Long.
Pippen for 3. Scotty hits the tray. He has 13. And this Bulls run now has brought them to within 1. 67-66. They have a lot of ammunition.
Oh, very
Blaylock
nicely
to Long.
done.
Yes, and a foul. Oh, Mookie finds Grant, who sends it in. Purdue picks up his 5th.
Nice little creative lead pass by Mookie Blaylock. Take a look at the execution here. Draws the defense, kicks it off to a cutting Grant Long, who gets the foul and the basket.
Tyrone Corbin is coming to the game now for Atlanta. Grant Long converts the three-point play, and Atlanta back up by 4, 70-66. Pippen explodes baseline, and he comes down checking his hand as if he may have grazed the rim with his pinky going by.
Still checking it. It's bothering him a little bit.
Now he's bothering Stacey Augmon.
All right. Now see, Stacey should be able to go by Kukoc. Stops and tries his jumper, developing more confidence in it, but not then.
Here's where you think Pippen can be devastating.
Oh, absolutely.
End-to-end, solo after solo. Kukoc keeping it alive. Last touch by Tony. He's a little upset with that call. He felt there should have been a foul.
And he starts speaking in a different language. He got so upset. As you take a look at Scotty. His hand still nursing it.
Trying to warm it up with those trousers hanging low. Puts a body on Augmon. Stacey, who had the big first quarter, can't get that sweeping hook to go.
And I think the hand may have caused Stacey to miss that rebound opportunity. Still checking it.
Blaylock pops out, feels the double team, gives it up to Grant Long. Grant has 14 in the game. And as Mookie feels those double teams, if Long can hit that shot, Atlanta will hang around a long time tonight. Jordan with the pick from Longley. The iron unkind to Michael. Pippen trying to split the double team, draws the foul from Blaylock. He's still checking that hand. I believe he'll be able to show you where it happened as he was going in for this explosion baseline. Sometimes that athletic play can hurt you as you come by the iron. We'll be back. Steve Smith has been occupying so much of his time defensively. It's had an impact on his offensive game in the third. Now he is 6 of 16 for the game. He's going to get a rest now. But it's a tough task. Easily, he has the most difficult chore of the night for Atlanta.
And he's glad to see Ty Corbin, a defensive player who makes his living scrambling and hustling and defending these type of high scores, get a chance to participate and possibly guard.
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan. Come on in, Ty.
Pippen, though favoring that right hand. He's got a bandage on it now since that timeout. Able to hit those free throws. He has 17 on the night. Long. Pippen may have been inside the cylinder. Credit the hoop. To Grant Long, he has 16.
Well, Grant Long realizing that he has an opportunity here to make a difference with some baskets, and there's Scottie Pippen up over the cylinder. Good Hawks defense. Bulls having trouble initiating the triple post offense.
Augmon trying to stay with Michael.
Oh,
boy, that is tough, isn't it?
It is. When that jumper is going off the dribble, springing into it.
Stacey's seen that one before.
Oh, yeah.
74-72.
Hawks get the switch they wanted, but now you got Stacey down low on BJ. That's the preferred matchup.
And Longley picks up that foul.
Pretty good execution, Tim, on that old Chicago Bulls split play. They got the switch and then took advantage of it by running Stacy back to the low block.
There's the hand and the bandage that they put on during that timeout. Scotty still favoring it a bit.
The big hand, you might add.
It's beginning to bleed a bit.
And refs checking to make sure that we don't have any exposed blood.
I recall a game last year during the playoffs, Stinger, when Jeff Hornacek had some blood coming from his chin. And he didn't realize it, nor did Jerry Sloan. Mike Fratello and I were working the game, and Mike noticed it. And he said, "Hey, Jeff, you got a little..." This was during a free throw situation. And Hornacek did one of those quick, "Oh, okay, I got rid of it," because they didn't want to take him out of the game.
Exactly.
It was a critical part of the game. And finally, it took about 2 sequences on the defensive end before the officials actually saw it.
Right. And see, Scotty played several extra minutes too.
He did.
Now he'll have to leave.
Augmon has 18 points in the game and 8 boards, and now trying to check Michael Jordan. 76-72. The tongue's out. Wave it off. Looked good, but won't count. 3rd foul on Augmon.
Stacy, good defensive job too, Tim. I mean, he's slapping at the ball, putting pressure on him, but Michael turns the corners, scoots it around, uses a little English off the glass, and it doesn't count. And now Stacy, good defender. Oh, Michael.
Showtime. He has 23.
Maybe our top defender, particularly from a 2-guard.
Blaylock.
Oh!
A flying Walenda from Mookie.
Answers the call.
78-74. Jordan, the Kukoc, stripped by Blaylock. Out of bounds to Chicago. Oh, the pace set by Michael, and the Hawks answering the bell.
And see, he wants Kukoc to power that home. He wants a Horace Grant type finish when he lays off a nice dime like that, and he wants it to happen quickly.
Jordan.
Not that one, no.
Lang picks up that foul out there to show. And you know, this is from a fan perspective, Stinger, exactly what the Hawks would love to have happen. Michael Jordan have a big night, become the king of the highlight reels, and yet win the game in a close one.
Absolutely. Same story every foreign arena that he goes to.
I mean, everyone paying their respects and cheering for Jordan, the individual, with the hope, of course, in the back of their collective minds that the home team may, in fact, come up with a win. 22nd timeout called with 1:15 remaining. Our next game on Sports South will be against the Portland Trailblazers Tuesday at 10 Eastern time. Note the special time, 10 p.m. being erected next door. The Dodge warm-up show will come on at 9:30 Eastern time before the game.
Well, Bulls have gone almost exclusively to Michael the last several minutes of this quarter.
Jordan in the third, 7 of 10 from the floor, 16 points after a 9-point first half.
And he's up to 24 points for the game.
Now you can make it 25 now. Yeah. 78-76. Atlanta by 2. Just over a minute left in the third. Hawks led by 9 at the intermission. Augmon. Pass nice. Jordan. Oh, it did everything but go down.
Nice double team too. The scrambler seeing a chance to help out.
Jordan baseline, the pull-up. He is on fire.
He is.
27 in the game. Tied at 78. Michael seizing control here in the third quarter. Long, same spin move, this time deflected by Longley. On the other end, Kukoc. B.J. Armstrong past Mookie Blaylock, and Mookie will pick up the foul. That's the first foul on Blaylock.
Atlanta foul charge to number 10, Mookie Blaylock. His first penalty.
You're asked to play your best
B.J. Armstrong at the line, shooting 2.
when a player as talented as Michael Jordan comes into your building. And the Hawks are being taken to the limit here in the third. Well, you look back many times at certain games, Stinger, and you talk about the ball going down in the hole. You got to put the ball in the hole in order to win. Some of those plays, particularly the one by Stacey Augmon just moments ago, if that one drops,
Yes.
this building explodes. Steve Smith comes into the game and Grant Long sits down. And you've got to hit your fair share of those in order to win against players like Jordan and in an environment like this.
You're absolutely right, Tim. Now Hawks are going to play for the last shot, and Bulls are going to pressure, knowing that the Hawks want to hold the ball for the last shot. About a 2-second differential.
Bulls on a 12-4 spurt to close out this quarter. I guess we more aptly should say Jordan on a 12-4 spurt.
Right. 5 on the clock for Steve.
Working on Harper. The leaner won't go. And that will do it.
Chicago ball.
Now there are 0.4 of a second remaining. So Chicago will have a chance to trigger it in. And a conversation now between the officials. Time should be on the clock.
And the question is, what time was on the clock when the ball hit the 24-second clock?
It was on the putback by Smith. The second attempt that hit the shot clock. Jake O'Donnell's got the proverbial whodunit look on his face. Steve Kerr's going to come in quickly. Only time for the touch shot. 0.6 of a second remaining.
And that looks good. About the 0.2 of a second. That's when they hit the shot clock.
Jordan. He loved having that opportunity, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
One of those made-to-order just for Michael routines to close out the third. After a magnificent quarter, he had 18 in the period. Tim Brando along with the Stinger Mike Glenn. You look at Steve Smith, 0 for 4 in the third, and the dilemma for the Hawks, what do you do about checking Jordan when you need Smith to get untracked on the offensive end to start the fourth?
Well, if he's your primary offensive weapon, I think you've got to take him off Jordan. You've got to let Ty Corbin, or who's in the game now, maybe share that burden.
Luke Longley's going to pick up that push. And Phil Jackson couldn't believe it as he, in Jackson's mind, bailed out Andrew Lang from a walking violation. Grant Long leaves the game, and Kenny Norman checks in. Smith isolated against Jordan.
Has a height advantage. Nice quick move into his jumper, but couldn't get it to stay down.
So he's missed his last 5 from the floor, and he is checking Jordan. Ron Harper past Corbin. Longley there to follow. 82-78. Bulls trailed by 9 at halftime. And were able to overtake the Hawks with a magnificent 18-point outburst by Jordan in the third. Lang stripped by Harper. Pippen
Looking for Michael.
Now that's some trailer off the back iron. And Andrew Lang brings it down. First miss for Michael in some time.
Now Snake.
That'll be an illegal.
Yeah, Luke Longley, clearly illegal. Not even close.
To Chicago. A technical foul.
Phil Jackson getting in his licks. Jordan had made his last 5 shots prior to that jumper that missed from beyond the arc a moment ago.
Well, that's another way to take some pressure off Steve Smith, is make Michael Jordan play defense. On that occasion, he was guarding the Snake, Ken Norman, a bigger player. Snake prepared to take him down low as the technical foul is missed.
still a 4-point game. You see the totals for Michael as he set the tempo in the third quarter, doubling his output in one period of play.
Well, Snake wants him to reverse it.
Off the pick, Smith raises the iron. Lang draws the foul from Longley.
Nice, strong play by Andrew Lang on the interior.
Well, Mike, if Andrew Lang just looks to take his shot a bit more often,
Right.
then that takes some of the pressure off of Smith and Blaylock in this fourth quarter, because he clearly has an advantage down low against Longley, or for that matter Will Perdue or Bill Winnington if they come in.
He does. He has to remind himself to continue to be aggressive, to the point of being selfish, looking for his numbers, looking for opportunities and advantages.
Atlanta hit their first 11 free throws. Since that time, they are 6 of 9, so they're getting to the line often enough. They just have to continue their aggressive nature out of their half-court sets. Here's Jordan with a crossover.
Good D by Steve Smith to close down on him after the pass so he couldn't receive it back.
There's the triple post offense at work, though. Still Pittman a wide open shot. And on the reach in, Jordan will pick up the foul.
Chicago foul charge number 45, Michael Jordan.
His second.
His second, the team's third.
82-79. Blaylock with Corbin, Norman, Smith, and Lang. Chicago counters with Jordan, Pippen, Longley, Steve Kerr, and Ron Harper.
10 seconds on the clock. Hawks having a little difficulty getting in their set.
Norman, nice move to free himself. Can't hit the jumper. Longley trying to work pick and roll. Kerr leaves it for Scotty. Wide open for three. And he now is really being bothered by that right hand. It's now bandaged a bit more heavily since the blood was spotted back in the third quarter.
The Hawks trying to run baseline screens, get nothing. Try now high pick and roll.
Lang. Hawks have hit the wall offensively. Jordan! And the foul.
Bulls are most deadly when Scottie Pippen is running the fast break in the middle. He can finish, he can pass, finds his favorite target, Michael. Jordan strong, just needs a little room to finish that.
30 in the game for Jordan. He had 9 at halftime. 85-79. Bulls by 6. Hawks' last field goal came with 2 minutes left in the third. Blaylock. And the drought continues. This is a nightmare with Jordan running the break to Harper. Rejected by Smith, and a foul spotted.
Looked like Steve Smith had a pretty good angle to block that shot.
The foul is going to go against Mookie Blaylock.
As you take a look here at Harper trying to finish, and I couldn't find a foul in that one. Neither could Steve Smith.
Ron Harper gets to the line, and Lenny Wilkins very upset over what he felt was a phantom foul. And from our perspective, it would be difficult to disagree. Harper will be forever connected with Lenny Wilkins. And after signing with the Bulls, clearly has been one of the bigger disappointments with a new team in this league this year. Blaylock.
Oh, yeah.
Will mark it down. The first field goal comes with 8.5 minutes remaining in the quarter.
And Michael Jordan out of the ball game right now. So Bulls trying to let their triple post do the work.
With Harper in the game, Jordan sits down and Kukoc knocks that one out of bounds. Stacey Augmon will check back in for Atlanta.
Timmy, how long do you give the Bulls before that guy comes back into the ball game? A minute and a half, maybe?
Well, he played 44 minutes last night. I think the thought process was he wouldn't play that many minutes tonight, though in the first half he only sat for 3.
And when you Phil Jackson and you look down your bench trying to decide who to put in and you see Michael Jordan down there, what do you do but put him in?
Lang walked. And it's going the other way. 14th turnover for Atlanta. 4 minutes deep into the fourth quarter. And the Bulls lead by 4.
Hawks need a stop right here. Bulls offense stuttering a little bit here.
Pippen off the dribble. Scottie Pippen illustrates, you know, he's had a tough night. He's missed some easy shots. But there's an illustration, Stinger. If that long jumper's not going, get a little closer.
Exactly. So aware of circumstances of the game. That Jordan is out, that he needs to step up, that he needs a good shot. Now Andrew Lang.
The jump hook.
Beautiful, Drew. Good job by the big fella, taking it to the middle for the jump hook.
87-83. Longley would love to get it back there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he was a little frustrated over not getting it. You know, big guys get upset if they don't get the ball when they really want it. And if they get it a little late, sometimes their frustration will show. And that's exactly what happened there as he got caught against Stacey Augmon.
And Tim, a lot of coaches will get upset if their big guy has feet in the lane and you don't give him the ball. They'll really let the guard know, I want him to have the ball when he has that good position and a mismatch down low.
The Bulls have taken control of this one with 7:05 remaining, but the Hawks still only 4 behind.
Resort to those tactics.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I talked to him before the game, and he said, Stinger, I'm just trying to keep up with these young guys out here. So he's beginning to have those veteran characteristics, like tugging on the shorts.
Steve Smith gets away. Jordan unable to get to the trunks. 87-86, 19 in the game, and that's his first basket in the second half. Couldn't have come at a more opportune time for Atlanta.
He's in dangerous territory. You don't want him to back you in the lane, but good defense.
Kukoc. Cadillac Anderson clears. Anderson in the game for Andrew Lang. And Bill Winnington is in for the first time. Anderson. Cadillac has been a factor when called upon. And the low post has been a quality complementary player for Lenny Wilkins. Winnington. Smith brings it down. Hawks have the lead once more by 1, 88-87.
Oh, nice pick and roll. Snake wanted the 3.
Dumps it to Anderson. Double teamed and fouled.
See, Cadillac does a good job of coming to the basket, though. When Snake's driving, he doesn't stay out around the perimeter, comes to the basket, and at least gets a foul. As you take a look here, nice pick and roll, and Mookie led the Snake. Snake wanted the 3, but takes it inside, and there's the Cadillac. Taking it up, getting a foul.
Hawks have their first lead since the end of the third quarter. With 32 seconds left in the third, the Hawks had a lead. Our head and shoulders around the league shows you that Indiana struggling against the 76ers tonight. Miami has been hot of late. New Jersey has the lead on them now in the fourth. And Cleveland, well, that's a scoring fest for them to be up at 90.
All right. Oh, Stacy doesn't get a foul called on that till his arm was held, but Hawks get the ball.
Phil Jackson can't believe it. He can't believe the official swallowed the whistle there.
There's the same pick and roll. This time Snake does get the three. Yes.
6 in the game for Kenny Norman. And that was a big break for Atlanta in that sequence.
It was.
There easily could have been a foul call. 91-87. Jordan with Smith on the deck. Jordan finally misses from the perimeter. Norman sets a humongous pick that Kerr manages to work through.
In this two-man game, this pick and roll with Snake and Mookie giving good shots, but Snake misses that one.
Coach may have had a little something to do with that. 6'11" flying in his face. Kerr with the dump down to Jordan.
There's the double on Jordan in the low post area. Not a bad idea.
Good look to Pippen. Oh my. That is a Mom's Sunday best dish from the best in the business. 91-89. Smith pops out off the pick.
Got 8 on the clock. Steve.
Norman has to put it up. Does so and gets bailed out with the foul with the clock winding down.
See, again, you see no real interior presence defensively for the Bulls. Snake realizes he can just put it down and take it to the basket. No wide bodies are going to take the charge. No shot blocker. He gets good results by putting it on the floor, taking it to the basket.
Which further illustrates, Mike, that what many people witnessed last night in the Orlando-Chicago game in the late going, Horace Grant really helping Orlando. He and Penny Hardaway pretty much taking over the last few moments of that game. As happy as Phil Jackson is, and there's Blaylock trying for the tip in, and Anderson keeps it alive. If Horace Grant had not left Chicago, perhaps there wouldn't be this cry for Michael at the end of the year. I mean, not that Michael doesn't make a difference, but losing Horace Grant
really hurts.
Was huge.
Now even more than ever, since they are a contender to go pretty far in the playoffs.
Norman, 3 on the shot. Offensive board work by Mookie. Lost in the open floor. Kenny Norman gets a tee. And he's
out of here. Out of here. And now Snake's going to get his money's worth. Snake's going to get his money's worth now. He's gotten tossed out. Cannot believe that he did not just get a tee, but got thrown out and wants to speak his mind. And Steve Smith is doing him a favor, and Michael Jordan also helping to calm him down.
It's one thing to pick up the technical foul, but to be thrown out, that's what Kenny Norman is that angry about. And Jim Clark wasted no time in giving him the heave-ho. So Kenny must have said something that was not only blatant, but really nasty very early in this sequence.
Well, you take a look here, good hustle by Mookie, and now he's going for the basketball, and he feels that we're both going for the basketball. Why do I get the foul? Officials did not agree with his assessment of that situation. And Jake O'Donnell kind of comes to the rescue of Kid Norman, and he says, Jake, I got no problem with you. You're beautiful. Here's a kiss for you.
He is a character.
It was the other ref.
Let's not forget the loss of Norman in terms of the Bulls now from a defensive standpoint. That's one less alternative for Atlanta, particularly in those half-court sets, Stinger.
Oh, you're right. That two-man game between Mookie and Snake was working beautifully. Now Cadillac, but he's playing physically. See, he's banging. Scottie Pippen's holding his head now. And the book against the Bulls, play them physically. Make them feel your presence. Don't allow them just to float off, pass, and shoot, and have no contact.
All appears well between Jim Clark and the rest of the Hawks. Somehow I think Kenny must have gotten a real good lick in before he left the building. We'll be back. Field, men's and women's 400-meter hurdle finals and 800-meter finals. A gold medal basketball game and the boxing semifinals. Dave Neal and Dwight Stones, your hosts. Tonight from Argentina, the Pan Am Games continue on Sports South. It's Jordan time. He looks to a wide-open B.J. Armstrong. Kukoc follows. Gets the roll to tie the game at 92. Blaylock blows past B.J.
And no help from the interior defense of the Bulls as Mookie just blows by and lays it in.
And very evident B.J. expected some.
Yes.
Corbin overplaying Kukoc in that mismatch. Longley gives it up to Kukoc.
Ty Corbin playing the left hand of Kukoc, wants him to shoot that long jumper.
Loose ball, lost. Last touch by Chicago. Grant Long will re-enter the game, and Ty Corbin sits down. You know, Stinger, without Kenny Norman available, Grant Long becomes a much bigger player from an offensive standpoint down the stretch, doesn't he?
You know, and he can run that same pick and roll that Mookie and Snake ran. Matter of fact, they're getting ready to run it right now.
There he is.
Yeah, slips
there he is, but he can't get it to go. Cleared by Longley. Boy, it was open for him, too.
It was.
Pippen!
Scotty. He's most dangerous in that situation. And then there's Kukoc.
Tied at 94, and Armstrong buries the tray.
He won't miss them all.
Timeout Atlanta. The Hawks get careless and turn it over in their own backcourt. 2:10 remaining, and the frustration clearly evident as Armstrong, Kukoc, and Pippen make them pay. 97-94, the Bulls retake the lead with 2:10. Game summary, fast break points all with Chicago, but Atlanta winning the rebounding story. Jordan having an unbelievable third with 18 of his 30 points. Smith doing as best he can offensively while trying to check Jordan the bulk of the way. And speaking of Smith, too strong, and Grant Long gets the offensive board. Andrew Lang will come in on the next dead ball.
Well, Mookie wants some baseline screens, wants Steve Smith and Stacy coming off baseline.
Anderson cutting to the basket a bit late. And Mookie was in Never Never Land. And the Hawks turn it over. 1:38 left.
Chicago substitution number 7, Tony Kukoc.
16 turnovers now by the Hawks. And we mentioned earlier Kenny Norman being thrown out. And at a time like this, it really does show up. You'd like to have him in there for some of those three-point bombs down the stretch.
Oh, great defense by Steve Smith.
And the outlet to Blaylock. Great defensive play there. 97-96. Remember that one.
Yes. Now Scotty brings the ball over the floor, looking for some backdoor action, weak side action.
Pippen, duck under. Grant Long brings it down. The outlet to Mookie.
Hawks have no numbers, could use a nice quick pick and roll, and there's Grant Long giving the pick. We're going to try it again, this time with Andrew.
And there's Long dumping it to Lang on the wing. 98-97. 47 seconds left. Timeout, Chicago.
Steve Smith has a huge block here just at a time when it's needed. Michael Jordan goes for the easy jumper. Steve waiting, times it, throws ahead to and anticipating Mookie Blaylock for the easy deuce. Big defensive play. And take a look here, pick and roll, Andrew Lang, Mookie Blaylock, and Grant Long steps into the middle of the defense, has a little shovel pass to Andrew Lang, and he knocks down the jumper.
Just a highly intelligent play by a pro. I mean, you've said it many times. When you think of the term professional, you look in the dictionary and you're a Hawks fan, you should get a picture of Grant Long.
Oh, absolutely. Prepared, intelligent, always into the flow of the game, knows the situation and circumstances, and does whatever is needed to help your team. That time, it was a pass to Andrew Lang and a catch in the middle of the lane.
22-second differential between the game and the shot clock, and it is Michael Jordan time. Smith is checking it. Pippen, stolen by Blaylock.
They want pick and roll again with Andrew Lang.
6-second differential. Smith. Ogman brings it down.
9 on the clock. Mookie has to be aware of the time. Ball did not hit the rim.
Lang on the wing. It does touch the iron. Jordan brings it down. Timeout, Chicago. 5.9 remaining. More than just enough time for Jordan to work his magic.
Easily so. A lot of time on the clock. Of course, Phil Jackson has 3 creators, but the ball game belongs to Michael Jordan in these situations, particularly when he's been with you the entire season. Scottie Pippen, I like him when he's coming at you with the ball in his hand because he can take it to the basket, feed off to Jordan Kukoc or the middle. But you take a look here at the pass inside, and Mookie Blaylock anticipates, closes down the lane, and gets a huge steal.
The flip side of that, Stinger, as you look at Phil Jackson, Tex Winter, and Jimmy Rogers discussing their future with 5.9 remaining. The sad reality for Atlanta, they got, again, a quality look, but much as was the case last night, it was from the perimeter. And this is where the Hawks are in desperate need of help for the future. A half-court set which leads to a low-post bucket.
Absolutely right, Tim. Difficult for them to get that shot down low. And now the question goes to, how do you defend all the magnificent creators on the Bulls team? Definitely you got to play great perimeter defense and close out on the perimeter. I still think that Scottie Pippen is the guy that Phil Jackson would like to have the ball in his hand. He's the guy that the best creator, the best off the dribble at this stage of the game.
On a night when Michael merchandise is the most prominent, a Hawks fan with a pennant in hand looking for what they believe to be a very big win. And clearly for the Hawks, given the circumstances, the 4th sellout this year, but no-shows tonight. This is a very important game. For the Bulls, Jordan's first opportunity to take a big shot.
You're right.
Coming back.
And Tim, the Bulls want the ball beyond the half-court line. They want to run at them. So they want to put the ball either in Michael or Scottie with the long athletic gaits and try to create on the fly rather than the ball at half-court.
Smith checking Jordan. Ogman on Pippen. Kukoc to enter.
And there's Michael.
Jordan for the win.
Michael Jordan wants to run at the Hawks, put them in motion, stops, takes his jumper, hangs, scores it. Regular day at the office, back at work, Michael Jordan back in rhythm.
And the reality is, single coverage is there because there are so many others that can beat you to his wings.
Absolutely right. And once again, Phil Jackson and the Bulls say, take us home, Michael. And he does.
マイケル・ジョーダン99対98、ブルーズがアトランタ・ホークスを
だとですね、3位とやらなきゃいけないんで、足して9の数字になりますからね。そうするとニューヨークとやらなきゃいけないんです。これは大変ですね。それでその後インディアナ、アトランタの勝者ですね。で行きたいか、あるいは5位になるとですね、シャーロット、オーランドなんですよ。これだいぶ違いますね。だいぶ違いますか。
相手にとってもやっぱり違いますよね。
はい、ですからシカゴとしてはまずクリーブランドを抜くっていうのが、まず第一じゃないでしょうか。
第一。
今レギュラーシーズンの間に抜かなきゃいけないということでしょうね。
でもそのなんていうか勢いというものもなんとなく徐々に
今もう今日の時点では
え
1勝差ですから、
はい、
いけんじゃないですかね。はい、
まだまだその辺の順位の変動が非常に楽しみですね。
楽しみですね。
それと同時にですね、アトランタの方は今、そこに出場できるかどうか本当に微妙なところですので。
そうですね、まあだけどアトランタの場合はどうでしょう、大体いけるんではないかなという気がします。
そうですか、ということでこの後の方も非常に楽しみですよね。
はい、
今日はどうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
解説はおなじみの島本和彦さんでした。それではお別れしたいと思います。さよなら。
Tongues out. Uh-oh. Wave it off.